Guys, we are here with Jughead. Jughead trained with us a long time ago. He comes for daycare and boarding now. He's one of our OGs. We love Juggy. So Jug's mom wanted me to work on healing with him. He's kind of reverted back to his old ways of just kind of putting on the brakes at some points when he smells something good, trying to pull when he sees other dogs, things like that. So what I've decided to do is start working on using the transitional with him. That's not something that we did with him when he trained years ago. So what I'm doing right now is doing conditioning with him. So he's not used to wearing this on his face, and 95% of dogs are going to paw at this and try and get it off of their face. It's just normal for them to do that. So conditioning is super important in this, and this isn't something that's going to happen in one day. So it's going to be something that his mom is going to have to continue working on with him as well. So the whole idea behind conditioning is putting zero pressure on this leash unless it is to communicate to him that we need him to go into this calmer state of mind. Okay, good boy. So using his name, using good boy, come on buddy, there you go, good job. Doing things like that. I'm not using any pressure. If I pulled him right now, I'm going to show you real quick how just to see, all I did was one finger's worth of pressure and you saw the difference in him, right? He went right back into that sit mode. Okay, so okay, Juggy, good boy. So pressure to him means something. Now that we're relaying that to him using the pressure points in his skull and the ones in his muzzle, so right there, good boy. So as soon as he tries to put his head down to the ground and start pawing at it, I just applied that light pressure and I communicated to him using the leash, go into a calmer state of mind. That pressure is going to stay on until he calms down. Okay. Okay, buddy. Good boy. So right there, if I were to say, okay, and he doesn't get up, and most people, I even almost just did it, would want to go to pulling. That is just what you're so used to doing with a leash, but you've got to learn to use your leash differently now. This is strictly a way to communicate to him, calm down and pay attention. It is not meant to be a way to drag him places or him drag you places. That is not the point of a slip lead. Okay. Okay, buddy. So to get him moving, come on, Bubbles. Yeah, there you go. You notice I didn't use any pressure. Come on, buddy. Yeah, come on, Chucky. I'm going to start moving other places. Come on. So right there, I'm just going to give him a pop and release. So I gave him a pop, not a pull. I didn't pull him anywhere. Come on, Jax. Pop and release to say pay attention. So he's going into this like I don't want to do it mode, poor guy. So I'm going to show you real quick. If we take his leash off, his transitional off, and go to just using the slip lead, now it's going to be the exact same way. Look at the big smile on your face now. Okay, good boy. Even that, you're going to use it the same way. So right there, as soon as he gets in front of me, I need to communicate to him, I don't want you there. So you can't communicate it sometimes up here, sometimes way up here, sometimes here, sometimes in the correct position. You have to make sure that you envision an invisible box in your head. Jughead. So right there, I'm not going to pull him, right? So he saw pressure, and that means stop to him. So Jughead. Good boy. There you go. Good boy, buddy. Good job. Right, so practicing healing with him is going to be really important. Not just taking a walk where he's kind of got free reign, where he can do what he wants when he wants. There's a time and a place for that. And if you're going to do that at any point, I would recommend putting either a long line on him or just a regular leash or a longer leash. That way he has the opportunity to kind of walk around and sniff. Healing specifically means follow me at my pace. So it's a moving command where he has to continuously keep thinking, paying attention, and watching you. So even right there, he stopped to turn around and look at what was behind him, and instinctually, I gave him a pop because I was communicating to him, no, that's not what I want you to do. It's much easier to stop behaviors from progressing than it is to stop them after he's already gone off the deep end. He saw a cat. He, thought about the fact that he wants to chase it. The cat starts running. He starts pulling you. It's a whole chain reaction. So if you see a cat up the road, for instance, there's a cat up the road. Probably can't see him, but he's up the road. And Jug likes to, when he sees a cat run, his prey drive is really strong. So as soon as I notice that cat, I'm going to start doing things like turns, zigzag patterns, left turns, right turns, whatever you can do. See how he's looking back at the cat? Good boy, buddy. Whatever you can do to keep him focusing on you rather than the distraction is the key to all of this. So I keep it resting very lightly, just on the tips of my fingers. I never close my fist, because what happens when you close your hand is when you try to do any pressure, it's a pull. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's all that can happen. If it's just resting on your fingers, then it can slide in and out like that, which is what we want. So practicing these behaviors with him, you could just do it in the front yard, even just go right up and down the street. You don't have to go far. In fact, I'd prefer you to stay close. It's more about the quality of the steps than the quantity. If he understands that 100% of the time when you say heel, it means I stay in this box, and anytime I go out of it, it's like an invisible fence, but you're the one that's controlling the fence line with your leash by saying, nope, don't do that, nope, don't do that, right? So his leash is only loose like this if he's, heeling. You're going to see this nice U shape in your leash right there. That's what you want. That's your leash is smiling. You also want to make sure that it's positioned properly. So you can see when you pull back like this, what happens is it slides really far down. We don't want that. You want it positioned up high where it's not on his trachea, but framing his skull. And your pressure on your leash is going to go straight up and down. Don't pull back, because that's what happens, and that's why you do all this readjusting. So straight up and down is how you want to do pressure. Okay, buddy. Good boy. So just a little pop right there to say pay attention. That's everything you want to do. So I'm not really giving him the opportunity. And once he gets into this kind of working mode and he realizes he's like healing with me, he's a lot easier. Now, if I just say, okay, Juggy, good boy. Okay now means he's in free mode. So we'll go over to the grass. Good thing to know. Grass retains scent, concrete doesn't. So healing in the grass is extremely difficult, and it's something I don't recommend doing. It's something that I don't even really usually do because dogs are just used to going to the bathroom there. It's sniff time. So I usually say okay and give them that kind of freedom. Now, when we're doing that also, there is still one rule, and that is there is never a time where pulling a leash is okay. So if he goes and he sees something and he goes to pull you to go grab it, I want you to plant your feet, and we're going to do what we call the lawnmower, which means you're going to pull him back towards you and release that pressure. So I'm going to demonstrate pull, release, right? So it was a very quick and heavy-handed way of saying, no, I'm over here, pay attention to me. So lawnmower him back to you. As far as the putting on the brakes and kind of just stopping, what I want you to do is if he stops and he smells something and you continue walking, that's kind of a good notification for you as a handler that you weren't quite paying attention to him and he was kind of doing his own thing. So if he's in sniff mode, he's not in heel mode. He can't be sniffing and healing at the same time. So if you're going to give him the freedom to do that sniffing, I would say, like I said, put him on a long line and give him the opportunity to get his sniffs out, use the bathroom, kind of explore, get some exercise, whatever he wants, and then take him for a healing walk where you're specifically giving him mental and physical exercise by doing pace changes, direction changes, zigzags, left turns, stops, all of that kind of stuff. Because every direction change you make is making him think, right? So look how tired he is already. And we weren't out here for more than a few minutes before I even started recording. So this makes it a lot more defined for him that when we are healing and he has the transitional on, that we are in working mode. Even if he drops his head to go sniff the ground, that's when I want you to give him a pop, or I want you to do a turn so that he doesn't have the opportunity to think about what he feels like doing. He has to think about the fact that he